Come chat, come play a chat and play. Let's talk about the topics of the day. We may watch a movie or talk trivia, chat and play. Come watch and stay.
Come chat and play. How the hell did that get? Okay. Hey, Carrie, how's it going? Just thought I'd wander in and see if anybody's as bored as I am. Wanted to chat for a while. Nikki's off wasting her time playing with grandchildren. Is Cliff still on? I saw he was talking to somebody earlier. Wonder why I don't have a notice on it. I don't know. I do have it on good authority that Nikki is not on Cliff's. Well, maybe several are live, but I'm not subscribed to any of them. I am subscribed to the Vigilance Committee. In fact, I'm subscribed to one less today than I was yesterday. But anyway, I have no particular subject to talk about. I just thought I'd come in and see if someone else wanted to provide a subject. And if not, I'll go back to watching old TV shows. I do have a couple of movies for Monday. I think I know which we'll go with. Oh, by the way, I'll remind people that Finkel is flying west tomorrow, so keep good thoughts for him. Plane industry hasn't been doing too well lately. Do, 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 do. Never did get to ask Carrie, how did your doctor's appointment go the other day? Was that Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, I think. It was a pretty nice day today, wasn't it? It was cold here, but still sunny. I know I keep doing this. That's because I lean forward to read the chat. Me and Finkel are talking about trying to do some stuff together whenever he gets back from the West Coast. Hopefully, we'll come up with some interesting things. I still really want to participate in that. What were we calling it? I don't want to say alcoholism because it's supposed to be about all kinds of alcoholism and drugs and stuff. Recovery. I think we were calling it the recovery panel. I won't actually be participating in that because I don't have a lot of first-hand experience, but I will be the moderator because, Finkel's not very good at hitting the mute button on people. Jeez. People really should be controlling their own kids. By the way, a friend of mine is traveling somewhere through your area today. I think they were leaving last night for Louisville. I don't know if they drive past you on the way down there or if you're south of Louisville. She and her husband were going down there to buy a food trailer. Jesus. I forget what the town was she mentioned. She said it was a little south of Louisville. Wouldn't it be funny if it was your town? Yeah, I'm really liking that song Ariel did for our new intro. But for now, I want to stick with Carol Burnett for the outro. What's funny is I keep telling those other people that this is a group thing, but everybody always is like, do you want to use this graphic? Do you want to use this? I think they just don't care about that kind of stuff as much as I do, so they just leave me make those decisions. Yeah, Ariel does good work. I had to tell Finkel, I left him a comment. He keeps playing the just the short opera thing with just Finkel singing, and he keeps saying it was done by Ariel and Muxter, and really just the thing with Finkel's head singing, that was all Ariel. I just put that in with the voice video. And of course, Ariel just says, "Oh, it's not me, it's the AI," but he's the one that gets it to look that way. Yeah, I'm surprised at the way he really adopted that thing. He kept using that yesterday to try to get people to stop talking all over each other. They didn't seem to get the hint, though. Although I did like yesterday that Finkel started throwing people backstage to try to bring some order to the place. Yeah, that's what I can't stand that stuff anymore. It's also why I avoid going onto other people's panels a lot because I don't like getting drug into it. I know I started off annoying on there yesterday, but that was kind of on purpose just to screw with Toddler. I don't know what people think they accomplish by three or four people trying to talk at the same time because you can't tell what any one of them are saying. Yeah, he always is. I think a lot of times too, Finkel will just sort of let that stuff wash over him and he'll be looking for something or whatever. He just doesn't really notice. Yeah. It's kind of sad because there were moments where there's a possibility of good conversation. Even Brick was mostly good. But some of those other people just can't control themselves. And of course, Vegas Phipps is always a moron. He thinks he is funny, but he's just stupid and juvenile. Do, 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 do. That is what I get a kick out of with some of those. God, they try to sound intelligent and they misuse words or mispronounce them. And then you get some of those people out there, I won't bother mentioning names now, but on some of those panels where they think if they just keep talking and keep using big words that everybody is going to believe that they are very deep thinkers. And a lot of people fall for it. Well, the thing with you, Carrie, is you might mispronounce words and stuff, but you'll own up to it. You know what I mean? You're not you're not afraid to have somebody correct you on it. Something I liked when me and Finkel first started doing stuff together. Sometimes he would not know a word or something, and he would just say, "What is that word?" And he was glad to be educated. I'll tell you, and I think I've talked about this before, but one of my favorite things of someone not knowing a word, this was back in the first Trump presidency. And I remember old Kim Jong Un of North Korea had made a comment about Trump. And the news people said that Kim had called Trump a dotard. And I remember thinking, what the hell is a dotard? And then I realized the word they were talking about was DOTARD. And this was back in the days when I used to pay a lot more attention to the news and politics. And I pretty much had MSNBC on all that night. I probably had that on my TV while I was doing stuff on the computer because, as I've said before, if they had invented it while I was a kid, I'm sure I would have had ADD. But anyway, all night, all those news commentators with their college degrees in English and journalism and so forth kept talking about Kim calling Trump a dotard. And I myself was doubting myself. I thought, these are all highly educated people who are making a career out of communicating in English. Maybe I've had this word wrong all my life. I even went on an online dictionary and hit the pronounce thing. And no, there was one person on like a 10 o'clock show that said, I always thought the word was dotard. And they all ignored that person. And they were the only one who got it right all damn day. He had called Trump a dotard. You might have heard it before, the doddering old fool. What's up, Carrie?
Nothing much. I figured it'd probably be easier to talk and chat fast as I can.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, go ahead.
I was going to say, since it's pretty much just me and you.
But yeah, people using big words, I've noticed that too. I used to think like, man, they're so intelligent, but and then I try to
There's a
sit here
guy.
and think.
What the hell are they saying? Huh?
Yeah,
There was a
But you
guy
go ahead.
when I was with the fire company. There was one guy, and he was a nice enough guy. I liked him, but he used to do that all the time. He would use words, but it would be the wrong word. I can remember, well, the one time on the radio, he there was a car accident, and he called the rescue company and said, "Could you please extricate?" And they were like, "Oh, sure, when we get there." But the word he actually wanted was expedite.
Oh,
Please come faster.
yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, there's a good one when he went for a job interview the one time. I can't think of the word. I'll think of it
I'm
as
sitting
we
here
go
trying to think
on.
of a word. Yeah, I'm like trying to think of it. And I'm like, what am I thinking of?
Damn it, why can't I think of it? Because I always liked that he said they gave him this test. And I forget what he said it was, but he actually meant something else. Anyway, seems
Not
awful
far enough.
quiet at your place for some reason.
Yeah, my wife had to. That's what I was telling you about. We were going to Danville and to go get some
Hey,
groceries and
Dirty.
stuff, and apparently basically to make it a quick story, the dad apparently abuses beats his wife or something like that, and he had choked her out. He's being held on $10,000 bond. He stomped his son's mouth. They had to put wires right here, like just to give you an idea. And so these they got a 4-year-old and the 12-year-old. That's the one they took to the behavioral center because he come in our home while we were gone with our two sons here, my adult autistic son and Isaiah, my 15-year-old, and he was kicking the refrigerator, which that's the landlord's, but we had a kerosene heater in case the electric went out when we had that ice storm, and I'm not sure if he damaged the top of it, but the box is damaged, and then he busted. Don't know how he done it. 2 soda cans as Dr. Pepper, and it ain't zero sugar. I don't drink that. My son does. My son's trying to tell the story anyway. It was all over the island, and so my wife, the mom, being that she's a single mom now because he's in jail, had to take them to Danville. They're going to try to get him admitted. The 12, he's 12. He'll be 13 in a few months. And then on top of that, the female landlord accused my son of yelling at her when Isaiah said he didn't, and so we were looking at being evicted in 30 days. But she calmed down and apologized to my son. But because all that, we had nothing to do with it. Neither of my kids. So we just figured maybe she was in a tense situation. But she apologized later. But you don't threaten to kick a family out in 30 days
Yeah, really.
when they had nothing to do with it. We've been doing that,
Well,
but trying to be helpful.
I'll tell you, my mother, she had been renting from this guy for, I don't know, several years, at least 10, but I think more.
Uh-huh.
And actually, the guy was my old high school principal, and he was an asshole. But she came home from shopping the one day, and there was this envelope taped to the front door. Eviction notice. Be out by the first of the month.
Yeah.
And the this lamp over here that's like flickering a little, and the thing is turned off. Oh no, it wasn't totally off. That's why. Anyway, but it was like right at the holidays. It was like right before Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
And after she'd been there all those years, paying her rent every month, not causing any trouble, we wanted to kick her out during the holiday. Because supposedly he was going to move his son in there.
Yeah.
So we did have a talking to him, and he extended it to like January or February or whatever it was. But then we found another better place anyhow before then. But yeah, it's like people can be assholes. And then his son never
Yeah.
did move into the place.
Oh, really? See, that's what we did when we lived in Kentucky. We lived in the other county. It's called Pulaski, and we were renting to own, and we wanted to go somewhere, where there was better, programs, or thought there'd be better programs for our son when he was younger, Logan. And so we got to move to Florida, and kind of find out we were an hour away. Tampa has all these benefits, but what disability pays and stuff wasn't enough gas to get there. My wife was working a gas station, and then it leads to we were there like from 2016 to 2023. We lived across from this, which didn't know going to be our future landlord. And she's like, I got this house. It's real nice. Y'all can rent it. Didn't ask for a down payment. She just wanted to fill out the paperwork, because, Social Security and food stamps and stuff, which we don't even get food stamps now because apparently, suppose we make too much. And you got 5 kids, and then got to take them, to the doctors. You got to, go to the grocery and all this other stuff. When you got 3 kids, I mean, they ain't eating like a light meal from, whatever those little
Yeah.
mom meals you get. And but anyway, uh we stayed there for about 2 years, and all of a sudden she says wants to kick us out, and we paid our rent on time and everything. She sold the house from underneath us. Come to find out, she flips houses, so she was just using us to buy time to where she could find a buyer. And then it's on the Zillow or something like that. They redone the whole garage. They redone the back porch and everything. It's like, why couldn't she done it when we was there? It's like super nice, but yeah, I mean, we couldn't fight it. We tried to get assistance, like the apartments and stuff, and we just couldn't. So the church that when I was doing really good, I played the drums for, helped us with a U-Haul and stuff. So we had to move back to Kentucky. So we ended up, I think, I was with y'all when we moved, when we lived in that gray trailer. I had that gray background, and that's when I first started going on the panel with y'all. And so we moved again because it was bad mode, and our kids kept getting sick, but they ain't getting sick like they was. But that's how all that run down with the landlords and stuff. It's not easy to get a home loan or a first time home loan.
Yeah. You see, Nerdy said she has frozen pipes. You'd think she'd
Yeah, I
wear a
seen
scarf
that.
living up there.
Said they had us on the TV, and I was going to wave at her, but I was going to wait till when you were done. When I was done talking, I was going to wave at her, but I got carried away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nerdy,
we
you
get
live in Alaska. You should wear a scarf.
well, we got busted pipe. Not here. We got water, but the other part of the county, they found a busted water line, and then another county. There's like several counties close around us that's got busted water lines, and the water people are having to telling people not to use water, or the ones that's getting ready to, to fix the lines, to boil it. And they're trying to fill the water reservoirs where so much is leaked because of that ice storm. So that's just really crazy. There's people in part of the county without water. You watch that lawyer guy that has the beard and has the glasses, and he talks about police and stuff. I just can't think, the law guy or lawyer guy.
Civil, the civil rights lawyer.
Yeah, civil rights
What I
lawyer.
watch all the time, yeah.
You seen the one about
Was it?
Danville, Kentucky, right?
I was going to say to you before, I couldn't remember if it was him or not. I was going to say I didn't realize there was a Danville, Kentucky until I saw a video about bad cops.
Yep,
I
we were
can't
just down
remember
there.
which one was that. Like, there's so many, it's hard to keep all the stories straight.
it's the guy with dementia where they accused him of stealing,
Okay.
and he
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, yeah. My wife and him went into Walmart, and we were driving by, and there's a. It looks just they have these Fords Explorers or something, but I had never in my life seen parked out front. I don't know if you've seen, cops park on the sidewalk next to the front doors behind like the yellow barriers where people can't drive through or something. They're concrete poles.
Yeah.
Well, here they park behind them, and it said on the side of the vehicle, wasn't police, it said Federate law enforcement. And I've never heard of Federate law enforcement. It didn't say federal, just said Federate. So I guess after that deal with the dementia guy, I kind of think it's like maybe a security service. I've never Googled it, but
That's what I'm
as many
guessing. It's
times,
probably the name of a private security company.
yeah, since that happened, because I guess they're going to be looking at a lawsuit, especially with that guy with dementia.
I
And the
was thinking
mayor's,
if I lived near there, I'd go to that Walmart, and load up a couple of carts and take them up to the register and say, "Yeah, have the bitch that ruined that old guy's life put this shit back away because I'm not giving you any money."
yeah. Speaking of that, how did you get anyway with that lady with the sliced meat at that little grocery store?
I sent them a message on their website. They didn't even bother responding to me. And my whole thing wasn't that it was like a big deal what had happened.
Yeah,
It's just that they've been like doing a lot of little stuff wrong. But what pissed me off was just how dismissive the manager was, just like brushing me off the phone and stuff. So it's like, fuck you people. And hey, that video has now had like something a lot like 1,100 views. So
oh really?
yeah, and a lot of them might think I was wrong or whatever, but I think, you know what? Some of them might go, "Oh, this guy's just complaining about anything." And then they're going to go in that
Yeah.
store and they're going to go up to the deli and they're going to see where there's only one person ahead of them and they still got to wait for 20 minutes. And then they're going to ask for Swiss cheese and the girl's going to try to give them American cheese and they're going to go, "You know what? That asshole on YouTube was right about this place."
But that's what they do. If you complain, you're a Karen or something.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, like when I called the store, I wasn't like, "Hey, listen, this, blah, 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 blah." I was like, "I just want to tell you." And I almost was going to record myself calling the store, but I thought, no, what good why would I do that? But I wish I had, so people would at least, because I'd only be able to show my side of the conversation, because Pennsylvania's a two-party state, But
Yeah, that's a tricky one, isn't
so
it?
at least people would see that I was talking in a reasonable voice. It wasn't like I called up
Yeah.
and was just like yelling at them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notification came up on my watch said StreamYard can now access your account.
Yeah. So here's my StreamYard thing today. Today was the day for renewing my paid account,
Uh-huh.
And I remember I kept
And
looking
they
at the
went up.
billing thing. There's like, oh yeah, it went up really bad, but there's no way to
Yeah.
like pay it ahead, So I figured, oh, it's just going to come up. They're just going to charge automatically. So I got a text from my bank saying, "Did you pay this to StreamYard?" Like anytime there's anything that looks weird, they'll send a text and I hit yes.
Yeah.
Then later I'm on StreamYard and some of the stuff wasn't working. I couldn't like change the background. Then I thought, what's going on? Then I noticed there's a notice saying we could not access your
Take,
credit card or however it said
yeah.
it. And I had to put the information in again, but I thought, now wait a minute. How can you say my credit card information was wrong, when obviously the bank got it. They got the charge and paid it. You know, it was just, I don't know.
So you had to do it again, and
People,
it went through.
yeah, I just
It,
put the
that,
exact same information back in again, and oh, it was
yeah,
like,
that's what
oh, okay,
scares me because you think they'll take it out twice, but hopefully they don't. That's what scares me.
yeah. Well, the nice thing is I use my bank debit card, you know,
Yeah,
debit credit.
we got
It's like both ways. It's a lot
we
easier
got that.
to fix things through the bank than through other stuff. You got what?
We got. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. We got that chime that they advertise, and it's been pretty good so far. Where you can even send like spot me's like $5 to each person or something. And like if you go below the amount, it don't charge you an extra fee. They just ask you, when it's paid back, like you can, you know, give them a 5% tip or 10% tip, and it's way cheaper than fees, and you can even don't even have to do a tip.
Uh, yeah,
It's
my
just
bank will
bad.
automatically pay if like if if I don't have enough money, you know, if
Hmm.
I screw up, but then they'll charge me $30 overdraft.
Yeah. See, we had Bank of America in Florida, and after we done lived here, uh, be about almost 2 years. See, because we moved back May 2023. Uh, we got like 3 or 4 checks from Bank of America where they charged us overdraft fees, and apparently they got sued or something. So we got it's not big checks, but it's better than nothing. But reimbursed us for where they overcharged us for bank fees.
You know, when that pissed me off, it was years ago when I first went on Social Security, and of course I have direct deposit. I don't know if they even mail checks anymore if you have to have direct deposit, but anyway, I had direct deposit, and one night I decided to do my bills, and I look, and it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it
Hmm.
said that it was deposited, right?
Yeah.
So I paid a couple of bills, and then it was like the next day I had not one but two overdraft notices. And I called them and I said, how could this be? And it's like, well, because these bills went through before your money was deposited. And I said, but I looked and it said the money was deposited. And she goes,
Hmm.
well, the deposit doesn't actually go in until 8 a.m. or whatever it was. And I said, but it said it was deposited at, when I checked at 2 a.m. Well, but it
Yeah.
doesn't actually. And the thing that got me, she said, well, I will remove the overdraft this time. Like I was the idiot when I looked and your fucking bank said the money was there. So why was it my fault? But I'll it's like I'll do you a favor this time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll scratch your back this time. Don't expect a favor next time. Like even banks post on the window like anything after 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. It's supposed to go next day or something at 8 o'clock the next day. Some of the banks we've ever banked at, before it got more digital and stuff. Because we haven't been used a real bank in a long time after we moved back here.
Yeah. Oh God, I've had this bank account for, geez, I think actually I've had the same bank account since I was 17. I think I opened it up to deposit my student loan check when I started college.
Yeah. See, you already took care of that years ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife, we was talking about Chime. She's asked me what the balance is, and I don't have my phone because where she had to rush to take the landlord's daughter and her son, they took my phone, so it's only connected
Oh,
to my watch. So I only got a little area to type what I got to say to her in it, and you're having to back up because you hit two words at the same time because your fingertip's so big. But yeah, like earlier about the Finkel thing and stuff, everybody was just yelling, making noise. There wasn't no, order or nothing.
yeah. I was sitting there wishing that I had a mute button.
Yeah. And I mean, you were pretty patient. You didn't bust in there till after a little while where it kept getting out of hand. It's like, hey, I need to say something.
Well, the ones that would piss me off, was when Finkel would say, "Well, let me just say one thing. Well, let me just say," and they were all ignoring him, and I thought, you know, he's the fucking channel owner. You should at least let him talk.
Yeah, when it got heated up, I stopped chatting. I'm like, I'm not going to chat in the middle of any heat or any exchanges because, I mean, it got heated there for a while. People wasn't listening. And then, I mean, even like you said, Finkel dropped several people.
Yeah, but it wouldn't last long. They'd go right back to it.
Yeah, I was like, man, it started out really good. And then I'm like, when is it going to fire up? And it did fire up. Because, like you said,
You notice,
normal conversations are hard anymore.
you notice your former friend GS, how he will dance around when people ask him a question straight out. That whole thing about, did you say that about Cameron? He'll be like, well, what about when you said this? He won't, he'll never answer a direct question like that. He'll
Yeah,
deflect it onto somebody else or whatever.
yeah, I wouldn't touch that subject because I don't know enough about it. I know, I know I talked to Nikki a little bit about it, and then because there's more people that's known more about it. Like I just come on the scene last year, so I didn't know there was technical situations and the people not doing their jobs correctly and stuff. So I try not to
Yeah,
dance or comment on.
yeah.
I know you
But
should. That's absolutely wrong to take somebody's life. Period.
yeah, I forget what it was that somebody screwed up something on like the charging documents or whatever it was and got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I know I didn't know. I came along later too, but that's what, like, I'm the one who asked him the question originally because people were asking the question in chat. But then whenever Shiz came up, I just sat back and let her do it because she knows all the details on that stuff. But he just would
Yeah.
not,
Especially the money she's forking out for the records and stuff too. So she
he,
puts like a watermark or something with the heart, so I can understand. You're spending all this money and stuff. But yeah, you would have never thought somebody, even convicted of anything like that would come on YouTube in the first place. Let me put you on mute a minute. That's my wife.
uh, so while he's gone, I will sing a song.
I hung up on her. Apparently, she texted me not to answer it, and I did the same exact. Oh, she's looking for my phone.
Oh.
I was gonna say, if it's bothering you, I'll mute because she's got to
Yeah,
find it to be able to read the balance. Because you can't put. That's the bad part where where I got a Chime account, and we had to have one for Logan, our older son, because of his SSI, so he has to have a separate account. So we just did it under both. So she has his account on her phone, and we have our account on my phone. So yeah, you can see that was one of my smart ideas, not thinking like, oh, maybe she's trying to find the phone. I should shut up and not answer. But I didn't look. But yeah, I forget. Oh, what did I earlier today? I was on a chat and I was like talking about somebody brought up Finkel or something. I said Finkel's a really good guy, and I even said that I said Muckster, he's a really good guy too, but I forget what channel it was. I don't know. Golly, I forget what it was, but yeah, I mean, I spoke up, but it wasn't nothing super bad. I don't know. It wasn't. Oh my gosh. Or somebody was talking about Finkel. I don't know if it was in G2's chat or something. Somebody brought up Finkel and some you, but it wasn't mean. But I'm like, yeah, they're really good guys. I didn't say nothing else about it. Negative or nothing.
Well, more people will agree with you about Finkel than me.
Well, I'm just like a little puppy. I'll just come back to you. Give me a little kick. But yeah, me and my wife was going to do. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say before that GS is another one of those guys that thinks he's a lot more intelligent than he really was.
Well, see, I like talking to him like when he brings up Bible stuff, but with his other stuff, I don't really engage with because I don't agree with it. But it's not my place, to say that on his stuff or whatever. I just don't do that because if I do my channel, I don't, if I'm gonna need to say anything, I would do it there. But I don't know the channel respect thing enough because I've not done that long enough. What like people know more of what they can do or what they can say, because
Well,
I'm learning as I go.
That's a good policy. It's not necessarily the policy I follow, but it actually would make sense if you would think of people's channels the same as like going into their house. It's rude to go into somebody's house and then call them an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking like a church, like a Baptist over here and say you're a Mormon. You like, I don't like to go to their church in front of the preacher, in front of everybody, say you're preaching the wrong message right in front of the congregation on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and my wife is going to sit down and go through the list, but it'll be later. But yeah, I told my wife, I said, Muckster's niece is doing a Girl Scout cookies, and I want to be able to help his niece out because he's done a lot for me, and I got to know him pretty good, and I think we're pretty decent friends. So I want to, if I can support, help support somebody in his family, I'm going to do it, to get to that goal because we know what it's like. My daughter has, when they sell like school stuff, candy bars and all that other stuff, Isaiah's selling Florida strawberries for a band, and people are buying a lot of them, are putting in orders. Then when the orders come in, then they go collect the money and give them the merchandise. But yeah, I'm glad she's with me because I would have clicked the wrong button because I didn't understand like a gift box, like you're sending it to somebody, and it's like, no, we want to send it to us. That's what I would have done. I would have clicked the gift box and been sitting here a month later. Well, where's my cookies? Because yeah, I didn't know they was going to discontinue s'mores. That's like one of their best-selling Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, I got those last year. I really liked them. I don't know why they would, but you assume they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but it seemed like, well, it's like they got this coffee creamer, caramel macchiato. I'm not trying to be intelligent, Marciano or whatever it is.
You know what? Let me tell you something funny. I was watching a show earlier, and somebody was ordering a coffee, And I thought to myself, if I was in that place, I'd be ordering a caramel macchiato.
Is that what you said? And it's sugar free. And then and then Walmart has their brand that's not sugar free. It sells so like fast. If you don't get there and get it in time, you my wife usually has to go to the local IGA because we only got like a little grocery store, like a little IGA, and then we got a little Save-A-Lot. Then we only have a Hardee's, a Taco Bell, and a McDonald's. Then we have a Dollar General and a Family Dollar and a Subway, and it's just like a little one-horse town.
Well, you got
And
more than my town does. That
I couldn't think it get any smaller.
That store that I did the video about is 5 miles away. You know,
Is it?
in my actual town, we don't even. Well, we have a one of the dollar stores up on the hill now. I think it's Family Dollar, but like actually in town, we don't even have a grocery anymore.
So you have to.
We have a pizza shop. You have to order one.
So you have to order at like several miles away to get groceries.
Yeah, well, not several, just a couple miles, but still, it's like not like actually in our town.
Oh.
But then again, I shouldn't complain. My sister, when I went up to her place in New York, the place they used to live in, they had run out for like bread and milk. And it was like a 20-minute trip down the mountain and back, so.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was a kid in my town, there was like several, I can think of like 4 or so right offhand. People, now I'm talking like the 60s, okay? So it was kind of just as things were changing, like, because you figure like in the 40s and 50s, most families, one car, right? And the husband would go to work. The wife didn't have a car. And it was still like in the early 60s and that it sort of changed through my childhood. But so there was like a lot of places where people would open like little grocery stores basically in their front porch. You'd have a closed in front porch and they'd be selling, like the necessities, the bread and milk, maybe some.
Didn't they have those little ice machines? You get bags of ice back then?
Not those places usually. Yeah, they wouldn't have that usually, but
I didn't know if they come out like you were talking about. It's like they probably had an ice thing sitting in front of their house or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's and all. But yeah, that because that way, if somebody just needed bread, milk, sugar, or whatever like that, can of soup, they weren't more than a couple block away from to walk down there.
Somehow my screen got real big. Okay, I fixed it. I was having to move it up and down. I guess I accidentally zoomed it because I got it sitting on alcohol prep pads, where you wipe your finger or you can wipe your forehead.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a Narcan thing because when I was on before I told them to take me off the oral medication and just increase my pump. I got it sitting in between there, and my charger and my cords for my headphone and mic is sitting in between them where I can set it up like this. But yeah, it was sliding when I was. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just wondering, why is yours like sort of like oblong instead of like the round like mine?
Every time I came on your panel, it does that. I don't know if it's me or not. I can try to click on it.
No, I mean, it doesn't. I'm just curious because I've seen that like on other places too. I'm wondering what the difference, if it's a camera or what it is, or why they do that.
I can grab it and turn it sideways and see what happened. Well, it's just going to make me sideways. I figured I'd try that maybe. But I figured out why. Y'all showed me how to go live. Well, every time I've tried to get on the laptop, I find it took me many months later, but come to find out where my wife had so many pictures on her phone. Well, my son's got the laptop now, my middle son, but the phone is somehow integrated into that laptop. And so when I was trying to access my camera, it's trying to bring up notifications on her phone to operate her camera. It won't read the camera on the laptop.
Uh,
So I'm trying to still figure out how to get it uninstalled. Where I can't use it now. My son was trying to give me the laptop. I'm like, I can't use it because I ain't figured it out. I've reset it, before I figured it out. I've reset the camera. I reloaded the camera and, doing everything, without losing everything on the computer. And my wife's like, I'm getting these notifications about a camera. And I'm like, well, that's what on the settings, it shows your camera, integrated camera, and then it shows my wife's name, Jennifer, and then her phone. So it's trying to read off two cameras.
well,
And so I have
I actually know how to fix that.
You do know how
What
to
you
fix
do,
that?
yes, what you do is just grab $5,000 and go down to the computer store and get yourself a nice PC. I always like when people will say stuff like that. It's like, well, why don't you just go get a new car? Well, maybe because I'm retired and I don't have a wife that's working, at a job at $100,000 a year, and it's like,
Mhm. And yeah, that one I was using when I first started getting on the panel with you and Ariel and killing time. When we moved from Florida, my wife thought it was a great idea. The old Cabbage Patch dolls with the hard plastic face, but the body part of them's, stuffed or whatever. Well, she put it face down, and when we got to Kentucky and we had friends to unload it, I'm like, man, I'm going to be able to get. And I look at it, and the screen's all busted up, so I have to use a HDMI cord and plug it into the TV just to see it.
whenever
It's one.
my computer was at the doctor, I was using my laptop and I hooked it into the computer monitor. That way, it took the HDMI so that I could have the 32-inch screen instead of that stupid little laptop screen.
Yeah. But I noticed it was getting hot, so I haven't been using it much. But it has our logins, the Social Security, and yeah, this. I don't know if you got an account on Social Security, but they're trying to change it where you sign in a different way now.
And I
But they
haven't
give you the
logged in for a
option.
while.
Yeah, they try something about a new sign-in thing. It lets me get in under my username and stuff, but it says on the thing that I won't be able to do that for very long. But they haven't changed it yet.
You know what's happened to me just about every time I've logged into Social Security. You know, I'll I'll go in and I'll put in, my username, Muxter the Magnificent, and then it'll ask for my password, and I'll
Yeah.
put, I love Mr. Carey 420, and it'll say password is wrong, and I'll think, oh, maybe I forgot to capitalize the I, so I'll put I love Mr. Carey 420. Password is wrong, and I'm thinking, what the hell? And I put it in again. It keeps telling me it's wrong. And so then I hit the thing to change the password, right?
Uh-huh.
And it asks for my new password, and I'll put in I love Mr. Curry 420, and it'll say you cannot make your new password the same as the old password. And it's like, but you told me the old password was wrong. I swear that's happened to me like 5 times.
I've been super lucky that each phone that we've ever gotten, it's carried on to another phone. Because like your apps and stuff, when it says the update, as soon as you update or do a fingerprint, it says username and password, and you're like, well, I didn't remember it because it was letting me in. You don't think you have to remember it, but it gives me trouble all the time. And I have to change it when it comes to apps.
I'll tell you how secure I am. This is for anybody that's listening. If you ever break into my house, which is hard to do because I never lock the door, um, you go on my computer and you can get into pretty much anything I have because I save passwords anywhere that'll let me save them. I use the
Hmm.
same password for everything, you know, all the wrong security stuff, but
Yeah, it won't let me do
golly.
that. I started out like that with the same password, and then it makes me change them, or I
Yeah,
forgot.
I hate when they tell you that you have to change. I was just watching a British comedian earlier. He was doing a thing on passwords, and he said how, when the internet first started, and they said, well, you need security, so you need to make a password. And it's like, oh, okay, this is good. And everybody, made the password, and everything was fine. You used your favorite word. And then after a
Yeah.
while, they said, well, the internet's getting pretty busy. We need more security, so you have to use at least one number. And so everybody went, aha. And they put number one at the front of their password. And oh, and he
Hmm.
said, well, first he said, but you have to use a capital letter. So everybody capitalized the first one. And then they said, you need a number, and it just, and it was kind of true. I think that's the way most people were. When they said you need a capital letter, you just capitalize the very first letter of your password.
Yeah, all them characters and stuff. Yeah, I've got one. I got my old phone. It's not cell service activated. My only got one, and my wife's got it. And then I'm like, why am I bending over, going to chat when I can use my other old phone, go in there and chat with the chat and play people in there? Because I'm going over here seeing the notification. I'll hit chat, and then I have to go up here. But yeah, I was always big about saving my phones because some of the phones where you don't got a lot of money to buy a lot of phones or expensive phones, the storage, there's not enough storage.
Yeah.
So I've got like one app on one phone where if I need to access, like his medical stuff, on his card, he gets the over the counter and the gas, whatever, on his insurance.
See, I don't really put a whole lot on my phone, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm big on even like deleting photos and stuff.
But yeah, we use like the receipt, the like Fetch, we use that. I use Coin Out, which is another receipt app. And then you got your insurance. You get gift cards like for annual checkups at the doctor. You report it on the app, and you can get like a up to $100 depending on how many points you save up, like at Walmart or Petco, and it
Yeah, my
helps,
one credit
getting
card.
one
I
credit
was just
card.
saying my one the one credit card has, a points thing that when you anything you're charged, then it's like, what is it, 10% or something you
Yeah, I
can
think
save
so.
it to use on. Dale, I saw a thing which been a couple years ago now. The guy who, I forget what government agency he worked for, who first said we need complicated passwords with various symbols and all that in. He said, you know, I that was a mistake. I never should have said that.
Yeah, I had a little bit of anxiety when I found out my wife had my phone. The watch come with the program with T-Mobile. It pays Netflix too. So
Oh,
so you get all that phone, 5 phones, and then you get the Netflix. You get Apple TV for that's included in the phone program and a few other things. And then my wife, her insurance has got where you can go to one of these, like little places that does like the workouts and stuff, like Go Gym or something like that, for people, that can do exercises and stuff. they sent her a free Fitbit watch where you can track your stuff, and so that
You
comes
know
in
what I got?
handy.
You know what I got with my phone?
What was that?
A monthly bill.
Hmm. Yep, got that too, and it's actually cheaper than our other provider too. Because yeah, our kids love Netflix, but the thing about Netflix, you got to use the parental settings, because I didn't, even Disney, back when I was a kid, Disney was like just supposed to be a family thing, but it's got to where it's like done out of bounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's like nudity stuff, not super bad, but I used to think when I was younger that damn was a bad word, when you heard it on like a Don Knotts movie or something, or one of them older Disney movies.
You know what I used to get a kick out of a few years ago when they would bleep words out. You know, they'd play a movie and someone would say "God damn," and they'd bleep
Yeah.
out the God and leave the damn. So it'd be like, ah, oh, bleep, damn you, Carrie. It's like I always thought that sort of seems backwards for some reason that you made
Yeah.
God the bad word, but
Yeah.
the only
When I come,
subscription, like the only streaming thing I have now is Amazon, and
oh,
that
is it?
comes with Prime.
I think we got Dish Network, but but the reason we got Dish is because Spectrum runs out to the road, but they haven't ran a line to this property. So the downfall of it is we'd had to pay $246 for them to dig the landlord to give them permission, but to dig a line from there, because I guess the whatever, the high speed internet now, the fiber optics or something. So, and then say we move, hopefully we don't move anytime soon, but if we did and somebody moved here, they wouldn't have to pay that fee. They just get hooked up and just pay their fee, for the internet and stuff. But we would be out of that money for property that ain't really
That's
ours.
that's what a friend of mine several years ago. He lived like away from the road and stuff, or from where the cable had gotten to, and he wanted
Hmm.
cable, and he ended up having to pay like it was like $1,200 or something in order for them to run it out there, and they had to put I forget what, but like a amplifier, to run it up. But then after he paid that, they went to the people who lived in between where he was and where the cable had stopped before and sold them all cable, and they didn't have to pay anything. And you'd think, that he should have got like a kickback for, paying all that, but no, they basically used him to be able to sell the cable then to another half a dozen people.
Yeah, I guess I'll be here a little longer then, because my wife just texted me they're going to send the landlord's daughter's son to Lexington now.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, he really needs behavioral help, but I mean, we've treated him nothing but nice, but I was angry about it, but I got to think, that's what, I mean, the little 4-year-old boy copies the same. I didn't mean to change the subject, but I was just letting
Yeah.
what she texted, planes changed, because she thought, they were just going to be able to do it there in Danville, because they supposed to be a behavioral health thing there. But anyway, you know, this might be able to help him, but yeah, but what he done, was ridiculous, and you know, we've had to deal with that with our middle son in Florida, and you know, you deal with it so much, and then I mean, you got to do something to help them. If you can't I mean, if it's beyond your comprehension, because I'm not a physician, but also make sure they don't pump your kids up with a bunch of unnecessary drugs either.
You know,
Because I know,
there's a lady used to come in the library, and her kid was hyper, and
yeah,
he was on Ritalin, and you know, I'm not wild about that kind of stuff, but you know, like you say, I'm not a doctor either. But I always remember he came in one time with his grandmother, and it was obvious that grandma was like double pilling him because he was like a zombie when he came in, and
yeah,
I I felt like, you know, calling and reporting abuse or something because that just, you know, it was obvious that grandma just didn't want to deal with him and just gave him extra medicine, you know.
yeah. That's a bad situation because the elderly person don't have the energy like they did when they were younger to take care of a child, and
Mm.
when you're older, you're like, this is a lot. Yeah, our son, Logan, our oldest son, he was on Ritalin a long time ago, but we didn't let him walk around like a zombie. I mean, the doctors were really good where we were at, and I mean, the only problem we got with him, like when I was telling my story, is he just has these anger outburst issues and very defiant and stuff. And I mean, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. I mean, he didn't used to spurt curse words, but now he's spurting curse words just out of nowhere. I mean, he's heard it before, but he never would say them. But he ain't got no filter now.
You know, the funny
Cause see,
thing about Ritalin is it's actually a speed,
yeah, I
you
didn't
know,
know that.
but it's sort of like it sort of works backwards for, you know.
And Concerta, I think, was one of them. Cause see, my wife knows about all this stuff. I never grew up around anybody with special needs, so I didn't know enough about it. My wife was the one that caught, something wrong with, or, it's not saying like, oh my God, something's wrong. Like, something's not right. I guess that's a better way to say it. And and then that's when they diagnosed him. They even took my blood and her blood, and they even wanted a picture of the. I got a bump on my ear. I don't know if you ever seen it before, but they call it a skin tag, and apparently my bump's in a some kind of a medical book now. But I don't get royalties from it or nothing. But they found out that the autistic gene came from my wife, from her
Oh, yeah.
blood. That's what blew my mind. Like, how can you decide that? So, like I said in the story thing, like I said, I don't know enough about this, but my daughter's a carrier. It didn't manifest in her because they said it doesn't manifest all the time in females, but when it does, I think anytime I've ever been around a female that's been meant, or on a video or if somebody that we got a friend that has a nonverbal autistic child. She's 7 and she uses an iPad, to point she's hungry but she's trying to talk. She's doing a little better, but you know, she just, they're like we had first steps for our son, our 2 youngest ones, because our middle son couldn't understand him. But I don't think he was ever on Concerta, but they came out with breast and stuff saying that males would develop breast. Well, he was starting to develop breast, but he was skinny there for a while growing up, and then he just started gaining weight, and then they changed his medicine to Vyvanse or something, and then now he eats all the time. And he don't even gain weight at all. So I don't know what's going on with his body.
Is it a steroid? Because I know steroids will do that. Guys will get breast from it.
I don't know. They just said that Concerta at the time when they was doing a lawsuit with it, that I never heard nothing about steroids. It just said they would male develop breast and something like that. But like my wife said, why fill out the lawsuit when you know you may not get little to nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And then like I said about the Tylenol when you're pregnant, autism, my wife or whatever pregnant women was taking or something when they were sick, she took it, and and here he is with autism. So you think, oh, that's the link, where the genetics and all the other stuff, did that all combined, but going for them lawsuits that they say is just more of a headache than anything. It's like, just deal with it the best you can unless you need to, but money's not going to make them normal or change them or nothing. I mean, if you have
Yeah,
one severely, like physically, then I can understand if you're putting out like for nurse care or they can't move, or that's just a really like a
people,
gray area.
the people that make money off those lawsuits are the lawyers.
Hmm. Yeah. Like somebody said, I could have sued the hospital for how they done my mom, because my mom apparently was blue and she died. It was in E-Town. And when they brought her to Louisville, the EMS was like, we didn't know what to do and all this other stuff. And it was, I think, U of L or something. But it's pretty complicated. But they brought her back. But knowing me, I have no filter. I told my mom when she come to, they had a tube. I'm like, you about died. Do you want to go be buried next to grandma? I mean, I just wasn't thinking. And I felt bad afterwards. But I ended up, never in my life ever had to do it. But I had to pull the, they asked me I need to pull the plug because, like they explained, if somebody's, on a life support system, their body can still fail and things can still, go downhill or whatever. So that was a really hard thing to do, was having to make that decision to pull the life support.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be where it's just kind of torture.
Because they had cut a bunch of skin. Because see, where she's really heavy in a wheelchair, she would use the weight that hangs down. You know what I'm talking about? She had weight that hang down like by her legs, and she'd have to keep it clean, and she would use that to get her up. But after they cut that off, she was hopeful she was going to be able to get through the weight loss surgery. But that, I think that was the early stages that they didn't know enough about it. But she had congestive heart failure and a bunch of other things. And I don't know why they even thought they could do it. All those health complications, especially with your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about cell phones and now talking about health. I didn't mean to do that. I go everywhere on subjects and don't mean to. I'm bad about that. But you were bored and nothing's going on here. It's quiet for now.
Yes, I just come in, see if anybody else was around. We
Yeah,
hadn't
I was
done anything
looking.
since Wednesday.
Yeah, I was where everything was going on. I'm like, with all the, slurring and stuff, from, like we were talking about other channels and stuff. I was like, found this one man band, and I'm like, that's a really good distraction and, keep my mind off things. So I actually did something good, like not dwell on bad stuff. And plus learning all kinds of music too. But yeah, I liked the movie nights. The train one, that was funny. But they did so much moving those trains and how they done those trains back then, with the steam engines,
Yeah.
and they don't even get paid. They didn't even get paid like they Hollywood people do now. Like, but millions of dollars or hundred thousands. They probably, I don't know how much they paid them then. Then trying to learn older music and music I haven't heard, because I know we you like talking about older music, so I try to learn some of that, you know, music I've never heard. 'Cause I try to figure out, you know, things that's, you know, being I'm bad about coming up with subjects that if I learn something, be like, oh, I know that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I had your email and I wasn't sure, so I reached out to Nikki and then I reached out to Ariel. I'm like, I need to know that link because I thought I saved it.
Just looking for something out of curiosity here.
Oh, you're fine.
Well, I
Yeah,
just,
my
talking about how much they made and stuff. So I looked up Charlie Chaplin since he was like the
I
biggest
forget.
name in the silent era, and it said he was making $1 million a year at his height, I guess.
You wouldn't think they had money like that back then. You wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, you figure that'd be a lot of money when you figure the inflation stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because a nickel
But
was like a big
again,
thing back.
yeah, but
Sorry.
he was like the top at the time,
Yeah, and I forgot about him till you mentioned him. But all he did was like hat stuff and hand stuff, and never had to say a word, and he was pretty entertaining. I looked down, I'm like, I'm not flopping my hands, but there's a delay. I
So
keep
here, let me
forgetting
show
that.
you something.
Okay.
There's my video. I don't know how good you can see them, but
I'm gonna
okay.
zoom it
Now
in. Oh,
these,
it'll let me.
well, the top three I just put on today.
Yeah, I
So
watched that. I watched them.
if you, well, here's my point though. If you had looked at this, okay, so the top one before I did anything today would be this one with the newsboy. You go one, two, three, four. The fourth one down was the thing I did about Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on my end. I got my other phone. I can look. But yeah, I looked through there. I looked through like maybe it was 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, guess I think it says January
Yeah, it's
24.
not. It yeah, it's not showing.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know if
weird.
you can. If I can show you on my. Well, I don't have screen share, but I don't know if you can see. Like that's what I've got. It's just on videos,
Oh,
and then
well, this is on live. These are lives.
mm,
So you're looking
yeah,
at
it's not.
the video.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Yeah, lives. It ain't showing it either. There's a. I'll get up as
Oh yeah,
close as I
well
can.
that's
There's
yeah.
and then
Hmm.
that's a squirrel, and then movie night, Sunday mass. I don't even see the newsboy. Yeah, I don't see newsboy on here. That tells you anything. All I see on my end is movie night for no good reason, which we're live. Trash talk, Aussie related, movie night, Sunday mass, let's talk sheet. Uh, no trivia, thoughts and stuff, dang old people, free FPS, movie night, Aussie.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's all
weird.
I've got.
That is
And
weird.
popcorn. Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it. I'm like, when you show me that, well, I'm like, I'll look again. But yeah, that's just like popcorn. And but yeah, I don't even see the newsboy. But I like every video when it even comes out and I'm even late getting in there. I'll hit the like button and then I'll share the majority of them pretty much. I didn't. I'd share that. I haven't shared this one because I was chatting and then I got on StreamYard. But yeah, and then I found a video of the Jardians. I found it, liked it, and saved it. because I thought I seen it, but somehow I lost it. But then I found it. But yeah, it ain't showing it. I'm like, I know it wasn't over 2 weeks ago. I'm setting you back on my boxes. And I was way over to the edge of my phone. I had to shrink my screen back. Yeah, it wasn't showing it. I don't understand why. I even done the videos, and then you said it was live, and then I did the live.
Yeah, that's weird. Did it? I don't know. I double checked to make sure it somehow didn't get clicked as unlisted or something. Oh well, there's a
Yeah.
newer one there now.
Gotta make sure I don't drop you, because my boxes are trying to fall. I got this little toilet paper table as a table, because we already got a toilet paper row in the bathroom. So, you know, I'm talking about the little bitty tables, and you put your toilet paper down there, and then it has a little opening to put your toilet paper row in.
No.
About yay high. Well, it's like a little toilet paper cabinet, like you fit in a corner or something like that. Best I can explain it. I'm using it for my phone holder and cords. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss that. Yeah, I was looking for. I'm like, I know he put a QR code up. I was even watching bits and pieces. You know, each one. I'm like, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it.
No, I think the only time I put a QR code up was when we did that joke GoFundMe to get
Yep.
people a
Oh,
haircut.
that's what it was. That's what I was. I'm mistaking it for the Girl Scout cookie QR code. So even if I did find it, it wouldn't have been a QR code there.
Yeah, you'd have found that QR code and been, hey, honey, how much money did we want to give Finkel for a haircut?
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, that's not the Girl Scout cookies. What would you rather have? Help this guy get a haircut, Finkel get a haircut, or do you want to just do Girl Scout cookies? Muxter's got to buy me a coffee.
Which one would be a greater help to society?
Yeah, let's flip a coin. Well, we may have to draw out of a hat because we don't have 3 heads or 3 tails or 2 tails. This one and 1 heads or 3 heads, or we'll flip it 3 times. I can't believe January's went by so quick.
Gets quicker every year.
Yeah, for you know, it'll be Christmas again. Yeah, you remember when I told you that when we had sent our middle son to the behavioral thing in Lexington several months ago? Do you know that they're supposed to check him? He came home with lice, and we had to have him treated.
Wow.
Because you would have thought that's what they're supposed to do, is check for that stuff. Because he didn't have it when we had to take him up there, but he had it when he come back, and we had to spray everything, treat everything. And when somebody mentions that, people heads just itch, even though they don't have it.
Yeah, that's the
Some
sort
people
of
are,
thing they should be checking them when they come in and catch the ones that have
yeah,
it before they spread it around.
yeah, and they didn't. They make it fun that even my son has had a few lapses wanting to go back. They make it fun. They get snacks, they get pizza. It's like it's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to help you. Oh, that shouldn't be a reason why he acted the way he did. She just texted me, said the hospital tested her son, that the one that came over destroyed some of her stuff. He's tested positive for COVID and RSV. I
Hmm.
forget what RSV is, but I wouldn't have thought that would contributed to having an outburst like that. That's going to be hard to put him anywhere with COVID unless they've lessened the restrictions. I know you used to have to like stay at home for a whole week or something, and then like even school they used to. But I don't know what they've done now.
Yeah, it's sort of become more commonplace now.
Yeah, like a cold or the flu or. So I got my flu shot now. When I got COVID, I didn't get it bad at all. I mean that was crazy, but I'm like, I was going to give in to get my get a COVID shot, and they're like, no, you don't want to do that. My primary care and stuff, and I'm like, well, why? I said, well, you just got over it. Basically, the vaccine is to give you COVID again
Oh,
for your body to fight it or something.
yeah,
My whole family, now not me, but my wife and all them got the shot, and my wife got sick with it twice after it, and then her aunt got sick 3 or 4 times. She had the shot. It's just like everybody's body's different.
yeah, yeah. People react differently.
Yeah. And I never had chicken pox because I think I got the chicken pox shot when I was a baby, I guess. I can't find it, but somehow I managed to, it's in my baby book. My mom kept all that stuff. But I remember the rotary phones before they started the push button phones or whatever. And I think they were going from 8-track decks in your vehicle to cassette tapes or something like that.
Yeah,
That,
yeah. Went from 8-track to cassette to CD.
hmm And then the multiple CD changers were popular back then. As when they enhanced more,
Yeah,
like yeah, people. There's like somebody that's from the Holocaust is 113 years. Yeah, they're 113. Like last week, or just turned 113 years old, and that's crazy. Just think of all the things they've seen that changed. I think they said it was either in Pennsylvania or New York or something. I thought it was Pennsylvania that the elderly lady lives at. And Chuck Norris turned 81 today or something like that, or is 81. Oh no, that was an old video I watched. That was on a James Freeman video. They had an attorney there or something going to arrest somebody or do a civilian arrest. I forget how they call it, where citizens arrest. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm not totally sure how that works.
Mhm. Yeah, I was looking in the chat to see if anybody else said anything else.
No, Nerdy's
Nerdy's got
probably
us
still
on
listening. She's
on her
walking on,
TV.
beating on her pipes and stuff.
She's in Alaska.
Hmm.
right? Mm. Yeah, I didn't know you had went live, and I've commented. I was like, I was driving when you went live. I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, I went live a couple of times today, just briefly.
Yeah, I think I caught the one before that. I think. Oh, Endall's just taking care of some bill. Oh, you got any bills to send him?
Yeah.
If he's offering, he probably retract that.
My bill day will be Monday.
Really, ours usually about the end of the month or beginning of the month, but where we got that chime, it your the Social Security comes in like 2 days sooner than it normally does through a regular bank.
Oh,
But
really?
it's gone as yeah, and it's gone as soon as it goes through. Yeah, like it came like my son gets his SSI on the first, so he gets his on the 27th through the chime. Either the 26th or the 27th, depends on when the actual first lands. Like if it lands on a Saturday, then he'll get it the 26th or 27th. But when we went through a bank, it seemed like it took forever. You know, it'd be like
Mm.
it's sitting here. Go ahead.
Well, I think they're actually giving it to you before they're supposed to.
Yeah, you get
Because like mine will say it's pending like 3 days before, and I think like the bank actually has it, but they're
yeah,
not supposed to release it until a certain day.
yeah. Them things like Chime, they do it like 2 days in advance, and they even advertise it.
Hmm.
And then we tried out one. It's called Varo or something. If you spend like $5, they'll give you $25, but it's a one-time thing. To try out their stuff. But that comes in pretty handy. But you have to meet the rules or the guidelines to be able to get their bonuses or those promotions they offer.
There's always a trick.
Hmm. But so far we like Chime. So far they've been pretty good. Now our Cash App that we got there for a while, we'd have problem with uh like if you go to we went to a restaurant one time, and it's like a year later money come out, somebody bought something, and apparently you would think their system wouldn't have your old card number. We got our money back, but somebody had used our card number at that same restaurant a year later. I know it sounds weird, but I mean we got our money back, but we had to get a new card because then it we're, I mean it's compromised.
Yeah.
And I think PayPal was the one that come out first
That's the
in
first
the
one
early
I
st-
knew of. Yeah.
Yep, like eBay was like, I mean, it's big, but when eBay started out, it started growing, and you would use their PayPal thing or something.
That's when I got PayPal because I used to do a lot of eBay stuff.
Did
I
you?
buy a lot of coins on there and that before eBay got really popular and everything got more expensive.
And Dale says he does good to take care of his own bills, or I do well to take care of my own bills, or on my own. Thanks for the offer. I didn't see it till just now. But yeah, this week's been pretty active. But yeah, I was like praying to God I wasn't going to get no ticket. I'd ride behind cars trying to rush home because the last time my wife heard that the boy had locked himself in this house, kept our boys out, and was damaging stuff. And then he hit. I forgot that too. My son told him to quit hitting the refrigerator, and the boy hit him in the nuts. And the medicine that they got my middle son on. He controlled himself and didn't try to beat him up or anything. He handled it pretty good, so I'm really proud of him.
Yeah.
That it didn't get uglier or a big fight or because you don't think you'd leave home and somebody's kid will come over and do that. That's the first time we ever had that happen. But my wife and my kids are trying to teach the little kid not, he hits my daughter. My daughter's like, you're not supposed to hit girls and you're not supposed to hit anybody. But that's all that little boy's known. And I just dropped you. While I was slinging my hands around. Oh, I hit the
Oh,
power button by
yeah.
accident. Yeah, it was asking to shut
Yeah.
off, restart. And I'm like, don't hit a button.
If his father was abusive, then that's what the kid thinks is normal.
Yeah. But yeah, I found out that the the dude, the one that got his mouth stomped, the 12-year-old that we was talking about. Apparently, he was on the ground and his dad was stomping him like that. I thought his dad kicked him. I'm like, there's no way you could kick him because he's 300 pounds and was a security. Well, he ain't a security guard now. He's then lost his job. I'm assuming, but they got him on a $10,000 bond. And apparently, they've been going through this. They had to move out of their trailers, so we try to help people, and I mean that's what we do the best of our ability because we're we
Yeah.
know what it's like to deal with that stuff. And she, and our landlords are really elderly, and then taking on all them, we gave him a TV. We had an extra one because that boy didn't have no TV, and him and uh, his sister's I think 11 or something like that. My daughter tries to be friends with her, and be nice and not be mean, try to be friendly, and because where they're having to start at school over here because of all that just erupted out of nowhere. They're not going to school where they was going to school. And I found out too
You,
that same boy threw a chair at a teacher, and I didn't know that till today.
do you know what the latest is with FPS? I've been wondering about that myself. I thought for sure he'd be back on the air quick, but obviously his appeal
Well,
didn't work.
yeah, only thing I know of was that he was in the process of an appeal. Probably heard the same thing that you did, and I thought he was going to get, I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention at that time and then I'm like, didn't see him anywhere. And then I seen like posts about it and shorts like, FPS is going. I'm like, what? And I don't remember seeing anything of any kind of nasty nature. That's what I understood. So
Well,
I was,
I never would have thought he would post anything objectionable like that. So yeah, I thought it'd be settled quick. I don't
that's
know.
what I thought too.
If
That's what I
Nikki
was saying.
wanders by, if Nikki wanders by, she might know something. She's friends with them, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. See, when I found out, when I think that kind of crosses a line. Taking somebody's channel down if there's many people that watch and view it that I've never seen anything inappropriate unless I missed something. But I just think that's crossing the line. I mean, that's his content. He put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
Situation that he's going through. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I've even told people like when I first, that's how I went to the one channel was because when I first, seen LIA and then I seen Chris and him, it's like your first impression. I was like, man, this guy talks a lot. What's going on? You're like, this guy's nuts. And then after I got to know him and stuff, I kind of backed off because I'd never been on that part of YouTube before. And I never crossed the line on my stuff, but I apologize, even, small little jokes, nothing like, that, how one channel owner kind of throws out some really nasty, mean sayings, especially, somebody, I don't want my kids, going on there and they're saying, well, here's Kerry the whoremonger. He's behind, Rally's eating a burger and trying to get laid or something. And my kids come up to me like, Dad, we seen this video years ago. Was you going behind it? No, well, I was hungry, but it was one time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's funny, but I mean, it really things like it. You know what I'm talking about? That's as worse as accusing somebody of being, you know, messing around with, or a rapist or something. If somebody never done it and this person's going around lying about it, that don't you're having to defend yourself and try to prove something even though you never did do it. And then I got to thinking too, my kid, my daughter got bullied in school and we're telling him, don't do this, and then I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm even though I'm not doing it at a high degree or whatever, that's still not good. So I'm teaching my daughter, not to be a bully, and here I am, riding the line on it, anyway.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Had
it just
somebody
blows my mind.
had someone accuse me of some stupid stuff, and I just, my thing was, I thought if anybody who knew me believed it, then fuck them.
Yeah, there's some stuff I do. I was like, hell with it. I'm just glad I'm never one of those people with like have a DV or my dad never touched my mom. My mom said, if you ever touch him, which he never was like that, but my mom was like, you ever touch me, blah, 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 I'll call the law on you. But after my dad died of cancer, she met this guy and he beat on her and beat on me because my dad died when I was 13. My mom beat on me when I was younger, threw me in a closet. I had bruises all over me from a belt. The school found out, she lied to them, and then I got beat more. But they were going to paddle me because I done something bad at school, and when that's how they seen all the bruises on me, like dark bruises. But come to find out, she was going through that back in the 60s. My uncle would get beat, I mean, bloody. Even my aunt, she was younger, but she remembers that stuff. But my uncle don't remember any of it. I don't know if we to this day thinks maybe he blocked it out, or some people block out that stuff so good that they don't remember it, I guess. But there was no, CPS or any of that stuff back then.
Yeah.
Oh, Dale asked if they deleted his channel. Is that what you was talking about earlier?
Hmm.
I didn't know because it just popped up on my other phone. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I thought he would have done got his appeal because remember he had to do an appeal. That was before Christopher Ruff come on the scene last year. Something about where you use clips of Jamie Noble and stuff, and he was demonetized, and then he got remonetized over that short video that he did for YouTube. And I thought that was the end of it.
Yeah, those people are just assholes. They don't like somebody, so they do stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind that the LCC thing, that was another, like, out of the blue, like, what? I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, that where they
Yeah, we're
took over the
JJ and
channel name. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, crap's just stupid.
that's, I don't participate in any trying to strike nobody's channels, or because I wouldn't want that done to me, and I think that's really low. When somebody does their channel, they do their channel. If you don't like it, you can either say something on, that's the way I looked at it. But I kind of just learning about it and try to be myself and be kind to people, or a majority of people. I don't know about, somebody that, takes, that's a hard one. That's a really gray area. And the reason I say that from experience, because my wife's cousin, her husband, her husband, her dad, uh, shot her mom because she come home late, and he got 15 years in prison. And he got out. He's not remorseful. He said he would do it again. And still, his daughter had something to do with him. And he just passed away 3 months ago. But yeah, he was only in there 15 years, all because she come in late, took her life, and she wasn't even cheating. She was late for late coming home from work because she had to stay over. And I didn't know it, and that scared me to death when I found out I was around a guy that killed somebody. Because that's when that was during the time not long after my injury. That freaked me out because I don't normally hang around people that's took a life. Military or veterans, but that had to defend themselves. That's different. On the battlefield, and a lot of them are disturbed. I met people that's done that, and I don't know if that's considered what, PTSD or something like that.
Yeah,
I hope my son ain't bleeding in through the mic. He's in there singing.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, guys, making sure. I got duct tape on this to save this microphone because they're like 20 something dollars, and the wires are real bad about coming apart there at the end of the mic. My last one, the wires come off, so I'm like, I'm saving this mic as long as I can. Because you remember my earbuds, they died. And
No.
here they are. The ones I used to, the little bitty earbuds, the white ones. My daughter killed them. And they were real handy because I could move around if I needed to, or get a water or feed my face. Now I have to sit where I am and can't feed my face. Keep a drink next to me. You said Finkel's flying away for a little while.
Yep. Be gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to do the Undertaker Finkel, but that singing one. I thought that sufficed, but I got the message, but I don't think nobody got the message like you said. I always thought if you had opposing sides, you go on somebody's channel to talk, you talk, don't go rah, and make noises interrupting them, like Jerry Springer's show. I think what Steve Wilkos is what piece of Jerry Springer's left. Which I like Steve Wilkos.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I had to reread his comment at first. I thought he said use a rubber and a vacuum. He said use a rubber vacuum hose and black tape around the. I apologize for misunderstanding your comment at first. I thought it was taking a naughty turn there for a minute. I was like, what? Like the window motor on her car, it's for the window that rose up and down, it quit. And there's like enough of a crack, and the guy she volunteers for that's a vet, he's a vet in the county, and he said just take a pool noodle, cut it in the middle, and place it in there, and it'll keep the rain, because we had to park it in the landlord's barn last night where it was pouring the rain. My mind stays in the gutter sometimes, Dale. Or end all, which one I call him Dale because I've been hearing you calling him Dale for a little while, so I was like, maybe I should call him Dale. I found out something new during that fiasco that was going on, like where Finkel was trying to calm everybody down. I didn't know somebody on another sign had the same last name as me. Now that's odd.
Oh,
'Cause there's
really?
not a lot of people. Yeah, there's not a lot of people around. I mean, I've looked in phone books. There's like Germany. There's some in Germany, but I didn't. Ivana Hump a lot. Apparently, there was a argument between him. Yeah, I don't know if it's a him and a Vestige, and I seen Guadalupe write Bilger, and I'm like, why is she putting my name in it? Because I'm the only one I know of on chat that's got that last name, because that's what I come in with when I first started, was Mr. Bilger. And so I thought, well, I won't say nothing. And come to find out, the person that she's into it with, their last name is my same nice name.
Hmm.
I thought I was the only person on that part of YouTube with the last name. So that was a mind blower. I almost forgot about that. I mean, I didn't go have family discussions with them because those two were having pretty tense discussion. I didn't want to be in it. I don't have a dog in that fight or a cat in that fight. And if I had a pet snake in that fight, because it just keeps getting ugly. I mean, it was ugly when I first got in it, but it's gotten super ugly.
I was just looking, kind of surprised Tiffany hasn't posted anything about what's going on with Chris.
No, she had a bubble in my throat. Yeah, I've only seen her on when they do the exposed TV, which they've let everybody know. That's the channel, so I'm not giving away nothing.
Oh, they using another channel?
Oh, yeah, it's exposed TV, and OMC's the wrench. She's a wrench on it.
Mm.
they got already, I forget, a lot of followers. I think, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, but I think Stephanie shared it. I know OMC shared it on her community post, I think a couple weeks ago, I believe. And I could be wrong, but I know the one that we was talking about, the one, the 525. He wasted no time putting that out there. That's how I knew about it, because I was like flipping through there.
Dale wants to know if your window will move at all with the broken motor.
Uh-uh.
Can you
It
push
won't
it,
move at
man? You know,
all.
like can you push on the window and like move it up and
You only
try
got
to
that.
tape it up
It's
or
just got
something?
that. Yeah, it won't stay up. It's just got about that much play, like about that little bit, like a half, an inch or a quarter of an inch play both ways, if that makes sense. But it won't go all the way up to where it seals. My wife is looking. Somebody told her about Rock Auto or something on the phone or the website where you can get stuff, and she found one for $50. I'm like, well, who's going to put it in? Unless you get a shade tree mechanic, which there's a guy I know that's a shade tree mechanic, and he's done pretty decent. Which the problem is, he's got a brother that's wanted by the gas station because he shoplifted, and we didn't know that.
Dale said try pushing on it and hitting the button at the same time.
Yeah, my wife was hitting the button when I was doing it, and it wouldn't engage or nothing because I figured it might be like a little gear inside there stuck or something.
Could be something simple enough as a broken wire or something, just a wire
Yeah,
come off of it or
I checked that where the door opens, because a lot of the older cars are notorious about that. Those several wires that come from the
mm,
frame into the door to all that. Now I wiggled them and stuff. Now I haven't cut the insulation or whatever the plastic it wraps around it to really investigate it.
you know,
But I figured if
what you need to do is take that the inside of your door, you know, like the vinyl, you you can pop that off of there and you can see everything in the door.
yeah, it's a 2012 Dodge Journey. When we got it, the guy said it was mechanically sound, that he took it to his mechanic. We had a Buick, uh, I think it was a 98 or something. The wires on them are bad about bending and getting cut and stuff. But you would think newer vehicles, they would solve that problem. But either way, the panel's going to have to come off, which I try to have my son do all that because he's wanting to. He likes doing riding tractors. He tries to do farm stuff. How come that word has to pop up? I
Mm.
don't like that word. Actuator, because an old truck we had, the actuator, I forgot. I don't know if that's called an actuator or not, but it was in a truck. It's something that has to do with a sensor or something. But I know there's an actuator for like where the fan, you want it to go up to the defrost or something. If that floor actuator is messed up, you have to replace it or something. But I didn't know it was called an actuator on the window motor. When you said that, I'm like, gosh, another actuator or actuator or whatever. So I don't know how to pronounce it that well.
That was right.
You have heard Tav talking about where they're going to try to come after his channel, right?
Well, I don't fucking care about Tab anymore.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. It
No,
seriously slipped my mind. I apologize. I'm like,
no,
it was not. I mean, it's not a secret if they made it public, but yeah, I remember. I watched the video. I apologize.
no. I just he'd been getting on my nerves anyhow. Not really, just because he he had a good idea with that nonprofit, but
Yeah.
he just sucks at making it work. I don't like to see
If I
the
lose
word
you,
I
I don't.
lost.
Okay, I did. I was going to say I'm checking an email because I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay, I got good news. It says thank you for your Girl Scout cookie. So she did it without me with her.
Huh, I guess you don't get to choose which ones you want.
I was going to show you, but it's on the phone that you're on. That's the only way I got access to my email on my singing phone, so I can't show you. But yeah, it's got the cookie order. So yeah, we got, and it's got the address. So I'll tell you, $42.99. So we got the Dosey Does. My wife got 2 tagalongs and 2 Girl Scout s'mores. So that will help your niece out. It said she had so many
Yeah,
left to go.
yeah, she'll appreciate it. Yeah, I think he froze. Lost him trying to come back from the email, I think. I would never try to join a panel on my phone. You talking about Tav? 'Cause that's one of the things that got me too. He did a whole video about how he wasn't going to talk about any auditors anymore and all that. And then every video he's done since then, he's been bitching about other auditors. And it's like you said, who is he to appoint himself? I mean, there are people that I don't like the way they do it, but I would never say that they shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean?
I didn't hit leave or nothing.
That's like I said in my little short video rant today. He reminded me of Todd because Todd would
Yeah.
periodically say, I am not going to talk bad about people anymore because I'm trying to be a good Christian. 2 days later, he'd be calling people nasty names and stuff. And that's the same thing Tav did about other auditors.
Yeah, that's what confused me about like what you showed on there is like, why would he respond like that? You didn't say anything to provoke.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, overreact. You know, why didn't he say what Nikki said? Nikki said, well, the person who did it didn't want any acknowledgement.
Yeah.
If somebody had said that to me, that's what I would have said. Well, that person said they didn't want to be acknowledged. But then again, like I
The
said,
thing,
I would have acknowledged my anonymous friend anyhow because I wouldn't want people going, oh, hey, that's a great video there, Muckster. You really did a good job. But I don't like taking credit for other people's work.
yeah, you'll say I did this, or Ariel, he did this for us, or if Ariel said, or you even said, Carrie, I did this for you, but I don't want you to tell nobody. I'd say I'd like to thank the person who did this for me. They want to remain anonymous, and left it at that.
Yeah. And yeah,
But yeah, to add
and
the
Dale,
add
it's
the
like
FA,
Dale, a lot of people don't like the way he does his thing. Would he want them to say, oh, you shouldn't be doing it at all? What were you going to say?
I was disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't
Yeah.
believe she ordered them cookies without me. But
Yeah,
kept my word.
you think she'd at least have said, what kind do you want or something?
Well, where she's sitting out there and that's going on, and it's not really her kid. She's just a driver. So I guess if you're bored, I guess,
Yeah.
what better way to do it? Go ahead and order cookies while you're hungry.
Well, I
Now
do
they're
appreciate
leaving.
it.
Well, you're welcome. I'm just letting you know that I said that and I was going to keep my word. They're leaving for Danville now. Yeah, it's the only thing I got. The watch is connected to the Wi-Fi, and then my phone connects to the signal, so I'm able to text on my watch. But I had to charge it for a little bit.
So they're taking him
Or,
back to Danville now.
no, they're leaving Danville to go to Lexington to take him to the behavioral center.
Oh, okay.
Or she said UK, so I don't know. It's because I don't know. They may not accept him at the behavioral center with COVID and RSV. I forgot what RSV is.
I don't know what that is either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked him too, Dale. I mean, he's entertaining and stuff. And when he announced wanting to do that nonprofit, I thought it sounded like a great idea. Of course, when he first announced it, he thought he was going to get a big court. He was going to have a court case that he was going to make a lot of money off of, and that's what he was going to use to fund that to start it with. But yeah, I mean, I've told Nikki behind the scenes for a while now that I thought the nonprofit was a good idea, but Tav was not the person to be the face of it. You know, I mean, if you're going to try to do something like that big time, you need to put a good professional face on it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Professional. You don't have to be specifically in a suit and tie.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, if I wanted to start something like that on YouTube, I would never make me the face of it because I got the total wrong, image for it. You know, people would be going, why would I be giving something to that asshole who's always yelling at people and stuff? You know what I mean? You need somebody that,
They ain't got too
like
much
somebody,
exposure.
somebody like Finkel would be a good face for stuff like that. I mean, he's got his
Yeah.
distractors, but most people like him.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, I agree with you because we know how he is, but I mean, still stays professional.
Yeah,
I mean, other than when they use the clip,
yeah.
they have fun with that clip. That's sad you can't do anything without some clip.
Oh well.
Because they'd be like, "Is this the kind of man that you want running this, fundraising thing?" And then Fink would have to go in here. I was talking about my competition. They can just practicing what I seen on wrestling, Degeneration X or Degeneration back then when they used to go suck it or whatever. And then they did a documentary, like Shawn Mike, some of the WWE or WWF, now WWE wrestlers. They're like, I look back on that and I can't believe I did that stuff as they got older because they, got more mature minded.
Yeah.
Some of them have kids. It's like, you don't think about that stuff when you're younger. You look back at it and like, did I do that?
Yes, I didn't even know about that deal. I never heard him say that basically he was going to be the one who decides who got help. And yeah, that definitely is a wrong way to run something like that. You got to take the personal out of it. I've been involved in a lot of stuff. I I used to,
You said you even
like
helped with
a lot
FEMA.
of, yeah, well, yeah,
I
locally.
mean, you organized.
Yeah, and so I have an idea. I mean, I have worked with people that I did not like at all. You
Mhm.
know, um, well, I'll tell you, I, if I was still doing that kind of stuff, and somebody like Todd could um, be useful, I'd be able to work with him on the
Mhm.
professional basis. I wouldn't have anything to do with him personally.
Yeah.
And that's what I had people that on my committees and that I did not want to, would never want to go out and have a beer with them, but they could do the job. And like I'm saying, like this that Dale's saying about, you do not bring the personal into something like that. You
Yeah.
have the requirements of you know what it is the help you're giving to people, and you don't say, oh well, I'm not going to help Mr. Curry because I think he's a jerk. It's like, no, if he fits the
Yeah.
qualifications, if he gets fits the qualifications, he gets the help. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
A lot of
But
ideas just.
I don't want to spend my life talking about him.
Yeah. I mean, people come up with ideas. It's just you have having your. They keep planning any business or any kind of thing. You have to have your ducks in a row, and it takes a lot of work,
Yeah, that was
dedication.
something that was what kept annoying me was the disorganization.
Mhm. What's the Netflix documentary about the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all that? And this guy that was behind the scenes, he's like, "I'll make you money" or whatever. I can't remember the guy, but long story short, they got people invested in this guy, and he didn't have any planes. There wasn't no accounts, but somehow he managed to settle with the people that come after him. But there's other people that invested that he used that money to make these boy bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, and them didn't know this was going on. But the end
Yeah.
result, the guy ended up got ran out of time, and pretty much he got arrested.
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah,
when you're young like that, and some guy comes up and he's like, "I'm going to make you famous, and you're going to be millionaires." You know, it's easy to fall for that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said on there. It's like, he's giving us an opportunity. I invited my friends. They needed singers, and I mean, they made a name. They end up showing they made a name for themselves without that guy's help, but they end up going to another record label. But they still thank the guy, because if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't have got noticed despite what he done. They at
Yeah,
least gave him that,
yeah,
on the. It's like it hurt him bad, because here they are. They get a $10,000 check, and they're saying, "Well, we spent money for your food, we spent money for your rooms, and all this," and their side of it's like, Backstreet Boys or whatever. They're like, they're making tons of money, but yeah, it costs. I mean, I see the point where it costs money, but as big as they are, that they should have been able to make more than 10,000 plus the first time around, as much time as they spent, practicing. Which that guy had to spend money on people teaching them how to dance. That ain't cheap either. But he should have, told him that instead of out of the blue. Here's your $10,000 check. What?
and yeah, Dale, I thought those two were supposed to be good friends before all that happened. I always thought the Beatles were lucky that they got good management from the beginning,
Yeah.
and they they got they made their money and stuff instead of having somebody that was just blowing it all on other things. And
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know nothing about their management or how they did anything. So they must, like you just said, they done really good on their own.
there's so many stories of guys who were really big and their records were making millions of dollars and they end up broke, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it,
Like
a lot
Pete.
of it's their own fault too, because that's that young guy thing too. Somebody gives you a check for $1 million, it's like, oh my God, I can go and buy this mansion now and have a Porsche and a Rolls Royce, and then the money
Mm-hmm.
stops coming in, and people come in and start saying, you gotta pay your mortgage on this mansion.
Yeah, like Diddy. I liked his music from the back, from way back, and it's like, what? You know, Nobody thought of any of the things that's come out like what came out. Now that
Yeah,
everybody's like making negative things about Diddy and jokes about oil. And now,
yeah,
how do
we
you
found
think
out
somebody
a
that
lot of celebrities. How do you what?
now, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying, now, how do you think a man like, say, Justin Bieber, thank him for noticing you and putting you on the spot, yet he were doing some pretty shady stuff? Like, do you thank him, or do you like, he ruined my life? Or see, that's
Yeah,
a gray area right there. Because if it wasn't for Diddy, he wouldn't have got noticed. But what did he go through behind the scenes? What he did share, it's like, but I mean, got money, but what was the cost of it that he didn't know that he was going to go through? That's the only thing about that guy that I was telling you about the Backstreet Boys. You never heard anything like that going on behind the scenes, like all the nasty and inappropriate stuff. Just he act like he had planes. He even created these air balloon, the like the Goodyear blimp. He created those things, and then his sales started spiraling down because they. You probably remember it. I don't remember it, but it was like 80s or 90s, somewhere in between there. And he had a McDonald. It was a blimp, a McDonald's blimp. There was a Goodyear blimp and some other blimp, but it was when they showed the documentary. It was like on the news where these, come crashing. Luckily, nobody died or got hurt or something. But he pretended he had all these planes, but he didn't. In one of the pictures, he's actually somebody's holding the plane, but their hands out of the way. It looks like it's landing on a landing strip on a real airport. How well they done it. because they didn't have technology back then to catch, oh, there's a reflection or I see a finger. That's not a real airplane landing. I mean, you got to give it to him. He did a good job, got as far as he did, but he got caught in the end. I think he created O-Town. That was another boy band. There was a few other ones they mentioned. I didn't remember. You been reading up on that Philadelphia airplane crash, any? I checked on it not
No,
long
not
ago.
really.
So they were looking for the black box, and I think 7 people died and 19 injured, and one was carrying a child to a hospital or something. If I copied
Oh
and
yes,
pasted it.
they were bringing her home. She had just come from St. Jude's, and they were
Oh,
taking
okay.
her home. Basically, they saved her life at St. Jude's. They're giving her a ride home, and she's killed in the plane accident. You know, imagine, imagine being the parents. The family. When it's like, oh, she's coming home. She's finally coming home,
Yeah.
and boom.
It's not funny, but it's
Yeah.
like damned if you do, damned if you don't. It reminds me of that song by Alanis Morissette, I believe, who's saying is that isn't it ironic where this
Yeah.
the lyrics talk about a man on a plane and then it crashes. Yeah, I didn't know that depth in the story, but yeah, that they went through all that and then see that's
Yeah, I'm not
I've known
sure about all that stuff, Dale. Mm.
that's what I was bringing up. I was going to say that that's where people like hate say they hate God because why does something, especially the little kid got saved, life saving, and then dies in a
I don't
plane
hate God for
crash.
that. I don't hate God
No,
for stuff like that. I just don't believe in him
I'm just
because
saying
I
there's
can't
people say
imagine.
that.
I can't imagine people like you talking about this loving God, and why would this God be an asshole and do stuff like that? Or this loving, forgiving God is going to destroy cities because he doesn't like
Hmm.
what's going on? And you know what nobody ever
Yeah,
thinks about with Sodom and Gomorrah? They say, oh, he was destroying sinners. But
yeah.
those cities were full
Remember
of a
that
lot of
story.
babies. They were full of a lot of babies and stuff. So what does that tell you about a loving,
Well, I'm not
forgiving God?
living right. I'm
So
saying I'm not
basically,
living
I
right, so I can't judge.
I just don't believe that
Yeah, I knew you
somebody like
didn't. I
that
was
can
just
exist.
Yeah, I was just saying it brought me back to where I remember somebody like their mom had passed and they had been, brought up in church and then something like
Yeah,
that, they just a parent dying, they would say that, but I wasn't meaning to, push anything
no,
like that or nothing like that. Yeah. But I know what you were
I'm
saying.
just, I'm just, one that got me. Um, and in fact, I think it was the thing. Yeah, it was the thing with the dementia guy.
Yeah.
Um, on the part two of it, where and talking to the wife, and she was saying about then when they went to court and everything was dropped and stuff, and she said, I prayed so hard that morning, and then that happened, and I just thanked God, and I thought, you thanked God? Why the fuck didn't you thank your lawyer? You know. So I'm sorry. I know you believe in stuff, but it just doesn't make any sense to me.
it's not my place to tell you what to believe. I like I say, I think I feel like you're my friend and I respect how you feel and stuff. It's not my place to tell you how you not to feel.
Well, Well, that's like too, and I'm not one of those people who, I see people make jokes about the zombie Jesus and stuff like that. And I don't do it because actually, I respect people who try to be good Christians. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't agree necessarily with what they believe in, but I respect the way they're trying to live. And I hate hypocrites who will talk about Jesus and all that, and then
Hmm.
they their actions have nothing to do with what Jesus was supposed to be about. So, you know,
See,
anyway,
I'm at the see, I'm
it's
at the
me.
stage. Yeah, see, I'm at the stage where, when I grew up, I see people like getting slain in the spirit, and you're thinking, if I go to this preacher, that's the way I used to think. He might heal me or something. But and then as it further went along, I mean, you would think you'd know something by now, but I'm like on the borderline where, finding out these preachers are just doing it for money. A lot of them that I've ever seen, I didn't think nothing about, like, you give your last dollar. Or like one person interviewed one of the female preachers. I can't think of her name, but she's one of the well-known ones with short red hair. They're like, what if they're in dire situations? Do I give to this? I don't know if it's Marilyn or whatever her name is. Do I give my rent to her that God is going to bless me and lose my house? Or and she's like, I don't worry about that. And it's like, you should worry about that. I mean, you have faith in God if but you got faith, but don't sit there and lead people like, let me use my rent money, get kicked out of my home just to give and hope God blesses me back. And they
Yeah,
never do, because I always was told a
yeah,
Christian, it, doesn't say, I mean, I was always brought up, you don't cuss, you worship the Lord or whatever, you don't, be an example. If you're not an example, then you're a backslider or something. And nowadays, Christian is used so loosely, nobody would even really know how to be a good Christian, or just be a good person. And if they love, a higher power or whatever, be an example. But they use Christian so loosely. I don't even like using Christian. I just say I'm a backslider, and I'm still, I don't have no right to judge anybody about their, Christianity, because, I'm not living it. It would be
well, I think you
hypocritical.
try.
I tried, to wash my mouth. I mean, like, because I grew up with, I had an aunt that would get saved. If you remember, back in the 90s, this guy predicted the earth or Jesus was coming back, and these people would, freaking out. He wrote a book, and the book that I remember, you read the page, then you flipped it around because it was one direction and upside down the other. And my aunt would get saved, and then next minute go back to living in sin, cussing everything, and then somebody else say, "Oh, Jesus coming back." She go back to church, dress in a dress, blah blah blah. And I seen all that stuff, so that's another thing, like, if I'm going to serve God, it's going to take dedication. It even tells you to save your own soul before you save other people's souls. I just can't remember
Yeah,
what scripture it is, but yeah, it encouraged you to save your soul first before you go and like, hey, let me tell you about Jesus. What the fuck? Kind of. I didn't think. I know you don't care, but not to say it a lot. I just was making an example.
yeah. Oh, Nerdy's back. There's a refinery fire. I can't click on that. I don't have YouTube open. Let me see. Go over here.
Yeah, but I agree with Dale. He says there's a difference between believing and being stupid. But yeah, I wouldn't run it. Speaking of myself, I wouldn't run it my channel and talk about Jesus and then cuss. That's just me. If some, other people want to do it, ain't my place to judge. But I'm just saying I wouldn't. It just wouldn't make sense for me to do something like that.
Well, you mean like somebody who would have a channel and do Bible studies and stuff, and then spend the other time calling people all kind of stupid names and yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, it's an awful wall kind of gig to do.
At least four
Because there's a
people
lot
were
more.
injured when the fire broke out at the Martinez refinery. Shelter in place has been issued for portions of Martinez. This is in California. One of the people injured has been since treated and released. Let's see. Fire broke out around 1:45. It's contained within the refinery. Inspectors are on site. Traffic is shut down in the area. Off ramps are closed. Health advisory issued. Well, there's a picture with that nasty smoke coming out. It would not be healthy. They don't know the cause yet.
I guess my boys are asleep. I was going to holler at them to get me a drink. Can I step away just for a second and go get me a drink?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
My
go
camera's
ahead.
not working. What's going on? Yeah, I'll be right back. I was hollering first for him, and then I didn't get no answer. It won't take me but a minute, or less than a minute.
Yeah, imagine anybody around there that has any kind of respiratory problems.
Come on. My cat, my daughter's cat's purring. I'm trying not to hit the wrong button.
Dale said you lost your slaves.
Yep. I guess they were tuckered out. I mean, it was pretty extreme day while we were gone.
Do you know, I
So it must have.
maintain that the reason people have fewer kids these days than they used to is because of the invention of the TV remote.
Mm-hmm. Our kids
Because when
like
I was
playing
a
Connect.
kid, the TV remote was go over there and check what's on the other channel. It was the kid's job.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my wife play Rummy. I don't know if you ever heard of Rummy, where
Yeah,
you have three, whatever. Like you can go ace, 2, 3 if you got the same suit.
yeah.
Our kids love playing that, and they love playing Connect 4. They choose that over video games.
Yeah, that's good. Much more social.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I played most any card game there was. The only one I never learned was bridge.
yeah. I never learned that. I only like blackjack, rummy. That's about it. Go fish.
Oh yeah, yeah. I played that when we were little, but yeah, I was playing blackjack and poker for nickels and pennies or whatever when I was still in elementary school. Yeah, we used to play like
Just
rummy, spades, hearts. Um, I
Candyland.
played pinochle. Played pinochle with the adults. Never played pinochle. We played there. I remember when I was little, we played like Parcheesi. and some games like that, Sorry and that. But then when I got older, like middle school and that, we were playing like Risk and Stratego.
Yeah, when I was in Indiana, when we're before we moved out of our hometown, third grade teacher had a Ouija board, Connect Four, I think Candyland, but the kids pulled out the Ouija board more than anything.
500 rummy we used to play. Is that what you played to 500?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could play to 1,000 if you wanted to, or but it took me a minute because I never heard it worded that way. But when you said that to 500, I'm like, you meant to the score 500. So yeah, I
Yeah.
played that.
Yeah, that's what we always called it, was 500 rummy. I think to separate it from gin rummy,
Hmm.
which was pretty much a similar game.
Now, the way her mom would play it, the twos would be trump cards. Does
Mm.
that make any sense to you? Like you could use it, like
Yeah.
if you didn't have it. Okay.
Yeah,
We used to,
I don't think we ever played it that way, but I can imagine people
yeah,
making deuces wild in it. Yeah.
yeah, Deuces Wild. Yeah, we used to do that years ago. We just started doing it, and then we got where we got WellCare Insurance, Kentucky. They sent some stuff and sent us a deck of cards, and it's got WellCare on the back. Nice
Mm.
deck of playing cards.
My insurance guy's supposed to be coming in 2 weeks. I'm going to have to ask him why I never got a deck of cards. All they ever send me is boxes of fruit and vegetables.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they should send you something useful, like, deck of cards.
Yeah, when I went to my doctor's appointment, usually I'm like I said, Florida, everything was covered, but here I went in there and they's like, it's usually $40, and they told me 25, and I'm like, what? But I was in so much pain. I was joyful, but just so much pain I couldn't be like, yay, be excited. But that was so great. We was able to get a little bit of groceries. But I have to call and make sure it's still 25 because she said they just started at the first of the year. So I don't know what's going on, but I wasn't going to argue with them over, pay 25. That's better than 40.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to order me stronger medicine, which I've been going through this uh, for almost 26 years this September. My watch is already on uh, battery saving mode. I'll have to put it back on the charger because that's the only thing I got to communicate with my wife with. Because my son don't turn his ringer on, and my other son, he's asleep where he's dropped his phone so many times he has to use Alexa for like on his phone, like this part up doesn't work, but he can work the bottom part, but where the screens have been broken, he can't click that. So he's like, Alexa, answer phone or open app or
Hey, my phone works perfectly fine, and I do that. Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
the
I don't have Alexa. I have the other one, but I'll just say Alexa so my phone doesn't do anything. But I'll be like, "Hey Alexa, call Nerdy on speakerphone." You know, I'm. I think I have this condition called laziness.
it's not contagious. You don't have to wear a mask or nothing.
Yeah. Why are you wearing that mask? I don't want to give you my lazy.
yeah, I'm not looking. Yeah, what didn't help matters was we didn't have nobody to help, and the vet she volunteered for didn't realize. I mean, he knows I got a back injury, but he the on this Dodge Journey, your battery on your other cars are on the top under the hood. Well, it's behind the driver's side wheel well, so you have to pull the plastic off to get to the battery, and to get the battery out, they have to take the tire off, and the battery cable had broke, and I didn't need to be bending. I even used a bucket, and basically it aggravated already my disabled back injury. It just basically the pain shot worse, and so that's why I was real weak. I didn't even get on the phone that night because I was hurting so bad and twisting and turning and had to make an emergency rush. Which why I went to my primary care, because I was going to go to the ER, but I had nobody to park the car, and I'm like, had my son with me. I'm like, I'm just going to go to the primary care, just have him check my blood pressure. I mean, it was like 163 over something, and my temperature was 100. So my body was acting like it was good, on top of the pain, some kind of, like withdrawal symptoms or whatever. That's the best way I can explain it. And so they checked my blood pressure, and they're like, "Can we go ahead and do your A1C check?" So at least got my A1C done, so I didn't have to go back to another 3 months. And then I got rushed down to the famous city, Danville, and so that helped a little bit, better than I was that after that. It's like it's never ending over here. Nothing, it's like anything goes just about. Just explaining why the doctor's appointment and why I was rushed and how all that turned out.
Yeah.
As brief as I could. Did your snow melt yet?
Nah, it's still, we haven't had any snow, but it hasn't got warm enough to melt. Of course, it was raining yesterday, so it's probably gone down some, but it's still all white.
Yeah, there was still some in the parking lot, even though we had that big thing of drenching rain. It did some low line flooding here, or low area, whatever, like the creeks and stuff. Nothing major, because they've had big flooding where it's got up in the businesses and stuff here. I think not 2 years ago, probably 4 years ago. Because where we're at, the city's down below these big high hills, or almost mountains.
I just, something you said just reminded me of something I meant to check. And
Okay.
I'm going
I was
to
gonna say,
take off now because I checked it and I have to call my brother while it's on my
okay,
mind. Otherwise, I'll forget and it'll be 2 weeks and I'll think I never did call him about that. But anyway,
all right,
I'm glad you
I'll go.
I'm glad you came up
Go ahead.
tonight.
Well, I'm glad I did too. I had the time to do it.
It was good seeing you too, Nerdy and Dale.
Nerdy and Dale.
I don't know if we'll do a thing tomorrow night or not, but remember, keep having good thoughts for Finkel that his trip
Jocelyn
goes okay tomorrow.
and Jocelyn doing good.
Yeah, yep. Actually, I should have probably said she had a appointment last week, and she's basically they're keeping her in a watch and wait thing because where the tumor is, they can't do a biopsy and stuff. But I guess it hasn't grown or anything since last time. So, yeah. she has a good attitude and stuff. Um,
Okay.
Here, let me show you. Let me find this real quick while I'm talking about her. I should be able. Oh, let me find her.
I was think,
Facebook here.
yeah, I was thinking about her. I didn't mean to distract you.
Um, yeah, okay, here it is. Here it says a quick update for everyone. I sat down with new doc today to get a second opinion on my scans. He wants to take the same course of action, watch and wait, since the tumor is in such a delicate place. If we have to go in right away to take it out, that is ideal. If we don't have to, we'll be still unsure of the type of tumor, but a biopsy is not advised due to its location. She's going to be having a new scan. Oh, she's supposed to have one today, but then she won't be talking to the neurosurgeon again until the 11th.
Okay.
But I'll show you this that she was open. She had sure looks too gorgeous to be sick, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's like you couldn't even tell. She looks really bright.
She
Like,
posted that, and there was a bunch of people saying, "Oh, you look so beautiful! You look so beautiful!" And she
yeah,
says, "You guys are giving me a big head. Where's my friend Dan when I need him?" So I posted. I didn't want to say anything because I'm trying to be sensitive since you're getting to be so old. She goes, "Oh, thank you. I needed that." Because I always
probably not.
did. People would always, she'd post pictures and people would say, "Oh, you're so pretty." And I'd always say something to bring her back to earth,
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. You can't tell anything. She's just like happy.
yeah.
She
Isn't
looks
it so
well. I
funny
mean,
though? If that person would not have run a stop sign and hit her, she still would not know about that tumor.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's it's funny how for something like that to happen. But anyway, I will tell her you were asking about her.
I'll
She'll
keep
appreciate
same
it.
prayers and positive vibes.
All right. She'll appreciate that too. Okay, folks, I am hitting the button now.
All right. Talk to you later.
Again, thanks.
I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so